things, because the mind is basically nothing more than a computer. What goes in is what comes out. So unless somebody comes in there and washes everything out for you, and sure, you got to be aware of what's going on. I mean, of course you got to be aware of what's going on. You got to be able to trust the people. I mean, but look how many people are programmed right now, and they don't even know they are. I mean, look how many people let people program them, and they have absolutely no idea. I mean, you can go to a doctor, and you can say, well, this is what's wrong with me, and he's going to convince you into getting $80,000 surgery, and most people never go to another doctor, never get a second opinion, a third opinion. I mean, if somebody's going to cut me open and pull my heart out, man, I'm going to go talk to at least 8 or 10 people. I mean, if somebody wants an aluminum siding job, if they're smart, they get several different estimates. They call around, they check out the person's reputation, they go look at jobs, they really investigate it. But yet, they'll go to a hospital and they'll let somebody slice them open and yank their heart or their liver out without even getting a second opinion, without even calling and seeing how many successes this doctor's had. I mean, you can't even do that. You got a place that you can call to find out, okay, this surgeon's done 882 operations, and out of his 882, 625 of them have been good, and this many have been bad. No, there's not even a place for that. Because again, we might as well face it. We have 2 or 3 different societies in this country. I mean, we really do. I mean, people admire doctors. People admire judges. People admire lawyers. They're in a place of high esteem. And that's why so much they should be taking care of the American people instead of the other way around, taking care of themselves. I mean, all the people that are the people working at the gas station, McDonald's, and all these kind of places, we look up to you people. We actually think that you people know what's going on. We actually think that you people are thinking of us people. But it's quite obvious that's not true no more. I mean, Ross Perot was really trying to wake people up. Sure, he dropped the bag. I mean, there's no doubt about that, but he's got as many problems as anybody else does. Just because you got zillions of dollars don't mean that you ain't got problems, because he put his family first, and that's the way it's supposed to be in America. You're supposed to put your family first. You're not supposed to say, well, no, it's just me, and I want to be the kingpin, and the hell with my family. I don't care if they all get crucified. I don't care if, what people care. As long as I get to be the kingpin, that's all there is to it. And that's what the poor guy was thinking about. Sure, he was weak and all this good stuff that everybody said, and that may all be true. But he's weak only because he didn't do like all the other politicians done. Friends, we have to take our country back. We have to take our nation back. We have to come united. We have to quit letting a handful of people, about 1,000 people, make the decisions for millions. We cannot continue it that way no more. Like I say, we do have the resources to change things via through the computer and via through the web TV now and all that good stuff. There should be a station, like I said, several stations on TV that are free, that has all this constant stuff over and over again for people to be able to figure out. The web TV, there should be, when these decisions come on, it costs money, $30 or whatever a month to join that thing, so there should be a time, say, every Sunday, to where the government pays the bill and the power's turned on for people that don't have the $30 to pay for it, and for people that can't even afford a telephone. And surprisingly, there's many people that they can't have a telephone because they can't pay the deposit because they ran into financial problems. There should be centers where they can go, that when these laws every Sunday or whatever, they should be like slot machines. I mean, they should be like these lotto places that are all over the place. They're happy to take your money there, and give out $1 million and collect $50 million. Well, why don't they do something for the American people, like put a machine somewhere where you can actually make a decision on a law. You can actually decide, well, okay, it's costing the American people $1 trillion a year to keep this pot thing going. Do we want to spend another $1 trillion this next year to keep this whole thing going for the American people, which is getting more and more people smoke pot. Matter of fact, more and more people smoke pot than they say it's an increase than it is in alcohol. Of course, the alcohol folks, they don't want to know that. I mean, they don't want you to quit buying their liquor and stuff. I mean, let's face it, that's where they make all their bread and butter. So it's quite obvious whose side they're on. They're on the side of all the people that want to make sure they keep everything smashed down. So it's perfectly okay for them to have their cocktail parties, and it's perfectly okay for them to champagne it up and all their good stuff. But Lord be, they don't want none of the poorer people to be able to smoke pot and have a good time and relax. But no, they want you to take their Prozac and all their pills and all that good stuff, of course, because again, it's all money. We got to look at who's getting rich off of all this stuff, and that's what we got to do. So the law comes up. Do you want to spend another $1 trillion to do this? Or do you want to just say, that's it, there's nothing wrong with pot. If you want to smoke it, we'll start manufacturing it somehow and try to get a little hold on the deal and sell it like cigarettes and put a heavy tax on it, some kind of stuff. Sure, you're going to have the Joe trying to grow it in his backyard. But 99% of the people aren't going to do that. 99% of the people are too busy feeding their kids, you know, to grow marijuana in their backyard. So they're going to go down and buy it, and they ain't going to have no problem spending, you know, a hefty tax if it costs 1 cent to grow. They're not going to mind spending $1 for it, and you guys get 99 cents. You'll still get your zillion dollars. Or do you want to take the $1 zillion and take care of the homeless? Or do you want to take the $1 zillion and do something about education? You know, folks, we have got to wake up, man, before it's too late. I am telling you, I have spent, basically, I can honestly say, since 1968, I have spent every ounce that I know of in my life, that I can consciously think of, every penny that I've made besides feeding myself and taking care of my daughter, I spent trying to learn why we are in the shape that we are in. And I, like Tony Robbins, have read hundreds and hundreds of books. Sure, my lacking of education, I can't read them out loud, but it's amazing. I can look at the books and understand what they're saying. I mean, it's quite amazing. I've never been able to figure that out. But I can, if I tried to read it to you, you'd think this guy, you know, this guy probably finished 5th grade. But if I look at it, I can totally understand it. And I look up words that I don't know. I got an electronic computer that's helpful with that. But I spent a lot of time researching this situation. And folks, I'm telling you, we can do it. We can do it. We can. All these churches can get together. All these people that want to think of the kids. And we can outpower these people that the only thing they're thinking about is their profits. We can outpower them. We can take our country back. We can say enough is enough, boys. You've ran it for long enough. You've had your 40 years. You've had your 50 years of this country. You know, I analyzed the whole thing back that it really started somewhere technically after the Great Depression. I think these heavy thinkers sat around and said, now look, boys, you know, we about lost everything, and so we need to figure out how this is never going to happen again. I mean, most people don't understand that how all these great empires got started. I mean, let me give you a little rundown on that. Let's just take Kellogg's, for instance. Well, what did they do? They bombarded you with these ads that you're not going to be healthy if you don't eat Kellogg's. You're not going to be healthy. Okay, so then what they do, they took a product that actually cost them 1 cent to make, and they sold that product for 50 cents. So that means that they made 49 cents. Well, of course they were going to be billionaires. Well, of course, but who you think give them all that money? I mean, why didn't they sell the product instead of selling it for 50 cents? Why didn't they sell it for 10 cents, we'll say? Well, because they wanted to make all they could. They knew they had a monopoly there, just like they did with gas and coal and many other things, steel and everything else. That's why they become zillionaires. I mean, plain and simple. They got all that stuff because they ripped off the everyday Joe. They got you convinced you had to have it. They got you convinced you weren't cool if you didn't smoke cigarettes. You know, everybody knows that, so they got everybody smoking cigarettes. Why? Because guess who made all the money? It all boils down to that, folks. It all boils down to it's them that's got and the multitude that is giving it to them. And I'm not saying that there's any evil people out there. I'm saying the Lord can come in and totally wipe this planet clean, and we can be 100% on target, but we got to act like we're trying. We got to act like we're doing something about it. I mean, we got to walk up to the altar. We got to get down on our knees. We got to say, Lord, please give us a hand. I mean, the Lord could give us a hand when we're out in the field. The Lord can give us a hand when we're down in the jungle. The Lord can give us a hand when we're actually down in the deepest pit of hell. I mean, we can be the devil can be right there with the pitchfork in your back. You know, and you can still say, Lord, give me a hand, please. I bungled it. I don't know what. I'll blame it on my mom. I'll blame it on my dad. I'll blame it on everybody else. But the bottom line is, please help me. And I guarantee you, things are going to change. And it's going to change for this country also. This country's got to go back to God. This country's got to go back to doing good. This country's got to go back. I mean, how in the world can we keep having all these homeless people, and then on top of that, all these government organizations are ripping off all the people that live in all the government places? I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the news thing showing this just a couple nights ago on TV here in Indianapolis about this place down in Florida that works for the government that gets like $900,000 a month or some unheard of amount of money that they get a month, and all these people that are what they call the down and out low caste people, they're living in the roofs are leaking, the ovens don't work. I mean, it was a crazy mess. And guess who was making all the money? They were, for months and months and months. Now what are they doing? Oh, they're going to come up and fix up the places and get the repair back to good. But what about all the months that they